Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you need a website, head over to squarespace.com/PaulMessner and you'll get a totally free trial. You can't really argue with the fact that Jetboil stoves are very efficient, but is all that efficiency just down to having a heat exchanger or a flux ring on the pot? I'm going to be doing a couple of experiments to see if other stoves like the Pocket Rocket 2 or the Soto WIndmaster will improve the boil time significantly if we use the same pot as on the Jetboil. I'll also check out this less expensive version of the pot which still has the heat exchanger or flux ring technology and see how it compares with the more expensive Jetboil. And if I've got time, I'll even see if we can use something like a Trangia burner and get improved boil times with this kind of pot. So I'm not doing anything fancy here. Just going to boil up 500 milliliters of water. Start the timer. There's a boil. Bang on, 2.5 minutes. So that is bang on what Jetboil claims it can do it in. But what I'm going to try now is see if the Pocket Rocket 2 can boil it using this pot in a similar sort of speed. So I have already done a video comparing these two and the Soto WIndmaster, but that was using the Outkit titanium mug. If you want to check out that video, I will leave a card at the end of this video. So let's fire it up and see what this boils it in. The Pocket Rocket's quite a bit louder. We're getting some action after only 30 seconds. Look at that, we're boiling. That is awesome. Whoa. 1 minute, I'm going to call it 37 seconds. And that's on 500 milliliters of water. Now, I haven't weighed the gas this time, so I don't know how efficient it's been on that. But on boil time alone, the Pocket Rocket has blown the Jetboil out of the water using the Jetboil's pot. So the Pocket Rocket got nowhere near that when I tested it using a regular Outkit titanium mug. So that tells me that this pot is what's massively improving boil times. So just for giggles, we'll try the Soto WIndmaster as well. See how that fares. So this one has its own igniter, which makes things a bit easier. Let's go. Here we go. You're joking. Another 1 minute 37 seconds. So all these stoves were turned up to the maximum. So the Stasher's stove is actually less powerful than both the Pocket Rocket and the WIndmaster. I really do wish I'd brought my scales to see how much gas they'd used. But I'm thinking you could have had these turned up maybe only 3/4 full and still got a similar sort of boil time to that of the Stash. But that's using this pot, which unfortunately you can't buy it on its own. But you can buy similar pots that have got a flux ring on the bottom. So I've had this one ages and never really used it, to be honest. I think the next couple of tests should be to see how the Stash complete setup performs against one of the other stoves and one of these aftermarket pots. And then we'll see if we can use them with a Trangia alcohol stove. So I know it's not an exact test like for like because this pot has got a larger diameter base, but it's a lot cheaper than buying a Jetboil, that's for sure. So this one's just going to be a 100-meter sprint like both stoves. Get them on and start the timer. So while we wait for that to boil, a quick thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring the video today. So I've been using Squarespace now for around 18 months. And for somebody that's never done any sort of web design before, I found it really easy to do everything just using the templates provided. It's really helped to grow my business and my YouTube channel. Whether it's uploading videos or adding new stock to my shop, it's just a case of adding text and dropping in the photos. If I can build a website, anybody can. So why not have a go at making a website of your own? Head over to squarespace.com/Paul Messner. You'll get a totally free trial and 10% off your first purchase. The WIndmaster looks to be just edging it. There we go. 1 minute 37. Same time actually. Here we go. Yeah, 2 minutes 30 again. Pretty accurate that. So the WIndmaster had the same boil time of 1 minute 37 seconds with different size diameter pots, which is quite surprising. I expected the larger diameter pot to actually heat a little bit quicker, but the Jetboil pot might be better quality as it is a lot more expensive. Right, can the Pocket Rocket beat the WIndmaster? So I'm not going to race them and waste my gas. The WIndmaster's been pretty consistent at 1:37. Let's see if this can beat it. You have to be a little bit more careful with the Pocket Rocket as the pot diameter is a little bit big for the arms of the stove. But I will link in the description below where you can pick up one of these pots for whatever stove you've got. There we go. 154. So not as fast as the WIndmaster on this particular pot, but still 30 odd seconds faster than the Stash. So as you may have already guessed, I am a bit of a Jetboil fanboy. I love how everything integrates together and they are really efficient stoves. However, you can pick up other brand pots that have got a flux ring or heat exchanger, whatever you want to call them. And with a stove like the MSR Pocket Rocket or the Soto WIndmaster, you can actually outperform the Jetboil on boil times. So the last little experiment I want to do is with the Trangia. If I'm honest, when it comes to Trangia, I'm not really fussed about boil times. But because I'm a geek, I'd just be interested to know how much faster you can boil water from the Trangia and using this kind of pot. So I've dug out this cheap aluminium pot, so we get the same sort of material, although it is smaller diameter, so I'm going to have to put this adapter ring on. Just let the stove bloom. I've only gone 400 millilitres this time. Let's go. See you in about 15 minutes. Think that's a boil. 10 minutes 9 seconds. Definitely no Jetboil, is it? Another 400 millilitres. Start the timer. I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up, but that flux ring's working great with the alcohol stove. That is awesome. 4 minutes 37 seconds. That is twice the boil speed of just a regular aluminium pot. Granted, this pot has got a larger diameter, but that flux ring technology has made a massive difference, in my opinion. So the moral of the story is this flux ring or heat exchanger is what makes all the difference when it comes to boil times. And this is why Jetboil has some of the most efficient and quickest boil times of any stoves. However, this complete kit is around £130, whereas something like the Pocket Rocket is about 30 quid. You can get one of these pots from anywhere between 20 and £30. So you get in a much cheaper system that performs actually better than the Jetboil when it comes to boil times anyway. But that's it for today's little experiments. I'll see you in the next one.